All right, happy Monday night. Thanks you guys for coming on our team call. Tonight we are going to talk about storytelling. And if you're wondering why or how I come up with topics for our team calls, there's a couple different ways. One, I do steep myself in a lot of PD, a lot of personal development, which tends to inspire me. And as I'm going through personal development and trying to apply it to my own life, of course, it often inspires me in ways, and I think of you guys. I think of you guys as a whole, and then I think of you guys as individuals, and you guys are just on my mind a lot. And when I do my PD, I often think of things. And lately, a lot of my personal development has either directly or indirectly had to do with storytelling, and I'm trying to become a practitioner, meaning apply it to my own business practice myself. And so that's just one of the ways that I come up with team call topics. So that being said, I guess I want to file a disclaimer right here and tell you guys, I don't fancy myself an expert. I don't think I'm like all that, and I don't think I'm all that in terms of social media. But I also think that I've learned a lot, and I'm having some successes with some different platforms. So I do think I have something to offer. In terms of content for you on the topic of storytelling. So I've been deriving some of my inspiration lately, of course, as you know, from Gary Vee. He's the keynote speaker coming up at Coach Summit. He is the author of some New York bestsellers like Crush It, Jab, 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 Right Hook, Ask Gary Vee. He's got a podcast. His YouTube channel is fantastic. So I would encourage all of you guys to be followers of his. A lot of his stuff, he's not a Beachbody guy, but a lot of his stuff really is applicable. So I've been listening to some Steve Jobs stuff and even some Oprah stuff. So I'm going to go about these topics in kind of a funny order, and we're going to talk about, are you storytelling? Are you storytelling well? And do you have a story? So that's kind of a funny order. You'd think I'd start with, do you have a story? We're going to end with that. And I'll try to keep this to under 30 minutes. So are you storytelling? We totally live in a soundbite culture, as I'm sure you're very well aware. So how many of you guys get annoyed if the phone rings? Like if someone calls you, are you like, thank you, Sandra and Ember. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I'm like, come on, don't call me. So why? And you guys, you can unmute yourself, and if you're new to team calls, they can be totally interactive. I just mute you guys so there's not background noises, but you can unmute and always pipe in or interject or ask a question or answer a question. Why do we not like getting a phone call? Anyone?
Because as soon as I get on the phone, my kids interrupt me. Seriously.
Okay, that's not the answer I was looking for, because my kids never interrupt me. My kids are like, who's mom? Okay, so that's true. You've got little ones and they interrupt you, but why? What's another reason we don't like a phone call and we'd rather have a text? Why would we rather have a text or a Voxer? Embers, you're muted.
Oh.
Oops. No, you're not. I can hear you.
You can?
Yeah, you look awesome. You look like you're a pilot.
Headphones on because the kids are watching TV. And I have a microphone. Anyways, I like text better because it's faster.
Exactly. Wait, I want to teach classes with that on my head.
You can borrow it. It's Tristan's, though.
Oh, don't tell him. And I've got your cat carrier. Okay. Because it's faster, but why else? Like, there's a certain reason I'm looking for. Like, why text and Voxer over phone call?
You can think about your response without having to immediately say something. I don't know. That's why I like it. You can develop better thoughts, and you can write out your response and make sure that you say something a certain way.
But remember, not everybody does that, even on Voxer. Sometimes people Vox back too quickly. Just need a pair.
True. It's true. It's true. No, that is actually the clue. That's kind of what I was looking for. Is like it doesn't have to be immediate. And the real answer I was looking for, you guys fail. No, the real answer I was looking for is you can do it on your own time. We're so busy and we're so soundbite hardwired right now in this culture that we want to do things when we want to do them, and that works. And it's just, I want to like set aside time to respond to my Facebook messengers and my Voxes and my phone calls and my text messages. And so on my time, when I want to do it. And same thing like with, like, when's the last time you watched an entire TV series by like sitting down once a week, Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock when it airs? No, we like watch Netflix when we want on a Saturday, and we watch the whole season in one sitting. We do it when it works for us. So that's just kind of the culture that that we're living in. And so there's in terms of storytelling on social, that's the culture that we're living in. And this isn't really going to be like a social media 101 training. I really want to talk about more like the art of storytelling, but I'll scratch the surface a little bit on social media, just a little bit on this team call tonight. So stories on social can be short and long. You really have to earn the long ones. If someone has to click continue reading, it's because they don't want to. They're busy and they'd rather not, unless you've really earned it and they really want. You've teased them with the image or the opening sentence, or you've provided quality content enough before that you've earned the click, continue reading click. So it's safer to keep it short. It's safer to post and do your stories in sound bites across your platforms, including Facebook. Not that the long ones can't work. Beachbody encourages to post 3 to 5 times a day. I don't post that many times per day. I'd rather post like a couple of really quality posts that I feel I can be really consistent with than 5 a day. But I think that's really kind of up to you guys and your demographic, and what they expect and what they want, and would they find 5 times a day a bit much? And I think my personal demographic would. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. So the question I want to ask you as we go into the next phase of this team call is, are you storytelling? Like, ask yourself that question. Are you storytelling? And then the next section will take a little bit longer is, are you storytelling well? Are you doing it well? And there's one true indicator of are you doing it well. And then there's a lot of different ways you can improve on storytelling well. So first of all, I want to say that we want to go, and you've heard this before from Shalene, from Gary Vee, we want to go deep, not wide. So if you're brand new to social media, which most coaches are, by the way, and I was, and probably all of you guys were, if you're new to social media and it takes a while to figure out, there is a learning curve, just stick with like one platform, like one, or maybe like 1 or 2. And then as you kind of become proficient, add more, but go deep, get good at 1, then be good at 2, and then 3, and add that way, rather than trying to be a jack of all trades from the beginning. So just really quickly, I wanted to let you guys know that what my platforms are. So I have a Facebook personal page, and I have a Facebook business page, which is also called a like page. And you'll hear other top coaches say the opposite of what I'm about to say, so take it with a grain of salt. For me, the personal page is more effective and more affecting. So I have both, but the reason I know that is because it has better engagement, like ridiculously better engagement, and the functionality is different for both, so there's pros and cons to both. That we get into that, and we will get into that with social media training, not tonight. But and we get into it a little bit with our Business Starters Academy with new coaches. But I have a personal Facebook page, and I have 3,400 followers on that account. And I started with like 0 when I became a coach. And my Instagram is probably my next platform with 2,400. My YouTube was good, but I'm in YouTube jail until October 16th. That's a long story. I'm not a bad guy. I'm a good guy, but I am in jail on YouTube. I have 1,300 subscribers there. My like page has 2,400 subscribers, but I don't care because it sucks. There's no engagement. My like page sucks. I don't care that there's 2,400 people that like it. They don't really like it. They don't really like it. So, and then I'm on Snapchat. And I'm telling you guys, Snapchat is the most fun I've ever had on social media. And I absolutely you must get on it. You must. There's a little bit of a learning curve. You can't screw up. Well, you can screw up, but who cares? Whatever you do is going to disappear in 24 hours. Just start learning it, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit. All right, so they're all really different. Those platforms have different personalities, and they're like different family members. Let me check the time. Okay, so when I'm posting on Facebook, I'm really kind of in storycraft mode, and I'm really thoughtful. I don't just I'm going to post this, blah, 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 blah. I'm really crafty with my words, with trying to get a question in there. I really put a lot of thought into my posts. I mean, you might see an exception in there if I'm trying to capture a moment and I don't have time, but for the most part, I'm really crafty. And if my story is going to be longer, it's probably going to be longer on Facebook than anywhere else. And then in Instagram, I stage everything, and I do stage everything in Facebook too, and sometimes I have the same image on my Instagram and my Facebook account, but not always. But with Instagram, you guys, for me, it's like art. It's all about this artful photo. So I'm filtering it well, I'm cropping it really well. There's magic in a good crop. I can take almost any ugly photo and crop it well and find a piece of art in it. It's art. So crop is your best friend. Finding a good filter, of course. I don't want to make this all about social, but I take 40 pictures. I'm not kidding. I'll take 40 pictures of my yogurt. And then I'll look for, and it's a pain in the butt to go delete all of them out of my phone, but I'm or if it's a selfie, I'll take 40 freaking selfies and pick one, crop it well, filter it well, and I might have one good picture of me. And I look at the photo as if I didn't know me. So sometimes, I just took a picture of myself wearing new Lululemon, and it was a bathroom selfie. And then I look, and I thought my outfit looked good, and I thought my hair looked good, and I looked at it, and I'm like, my bathroom looks like a mess. There's stuff, I was upstairs, there's a kid, the kids and I use, there's toothpaste splatter on the mirror. I'm like, I can't post it. I gotta clean the mirror first. I can't do it. So you have to take a second and get fresh eyes and pretend you don't know you and look at that picture, and will it stop the scroll in our soundbite world? And then just real quickly on Instagram, we kind of laughed about this before the call started. You guys need to tag locations. You need to tag businesses. I'll tell you about that in a second. Inside your picture, and you need to tag them in your post. So my Instagram is getting has a lot of momentum right now because I'm buying clothes from different places, workout clothes. And then, so I've had a bunch of businesses, I'm not kidding, Embers I think is the only person I've told this to. I think I've had 5 huge accounts share my picture. Online legging store, a tattoo magazine, the Friends Don't Let Friends Squat Shallow, that clothing store. There's I think 5. They're all closed. And what you have to do is tag the you have to tag so Katia just tagged a picture, and she looks way better than me. Have you guys seen Katia? She looks way better than me, and she's in these leggings from an online legging store, and they look awesome. Just a picture of her legs, and really well cropped, beautiful photo. But she didn't tag online legging store, and she's going to listen to this replay, and she's going to hear me talking about her. So I'm going to tell her, Katia, as you're listening to the replay, you need to tag online legging. You need to go back to the post and edit it and tag online legging store. And then in the comment, you tag @Circle online legging store. And then they will share that picture. This free advertising for them. They want to do that. They want to do that. And then they've got, 60,000 followers on their account or whatever they have. I don't know if that's that number. I pulled it out of my butt. But then suddenly you go open your phone one day and you've got, 200 new followers on Instagram because they found you on the online legging store account. So anyway, that's a tangent, but I just wanted to make you aware of it. Tagging businesses too. People are looking at locations and then they'll find you. So with Snapchat, the most fun social media platform ever, it's nothing like that. It's one and done. I don't take 40 selfies. I take one and it's out there. Boom. I don't care. The filters are kind of funny anyway, and some of them are flattering and some of them are not flattering. And it's just fun. It's raw. It's real life. It's the real life. Like, here's the real me. And it's very exposed. And the value in that for us as network marketers is that whole trust factor, that whole what's going to set you, why buy from you instead of Beachbody.com? What is it about you that's likable? And how are you establishing trust? It's being real and authentic and letting people see you. And nothing has been, Snapchat, it's very voyeuristic. It's very much like that. And moreover, Gary Vaynerchuk says it is going to be, and he's predicted it all, from Twitter, from MySpace to Twitter to Vine to Facebook to YouTube to what's going on with Google. Like, he's predicted it all. He's predicted everything. And he's saying Snapchat is going to be the place for business in 2017, and get there now if you care about your business. Get there now and set up camp. Get there now and get following. How do you know if your Snapchat how do you know if you're storytelling well? Because your views, when you look at them, and if you don't know how, ask me later, your views are increasing. So I'm looking at the views on my videos now every night, and they're much higher than they were 2 weeks ago. Much higher. And I can see who's viewing them. And in 2 weeks, they're going to be higher still. So in 2017, I plan on sitting pretty on Snapchat for this business. I show my shake every day on there. I show my workout every day on there. And then I show everything else in my life on there. Well, not everything, but okay. So are you, knowing that they're all a little different, and you know that because you can post the same picture on Instagram or the same question on Instagram and the same one on Facebook and get engagement on one and not on the other, or different engagement on one and different on the other. So they have different personalities. So are you speaking the right way to the right audience? By the way, Snapchat is perfect for calls to action. I put on there all the time, email me, call me. I don't say call me, but message me. Find me on Facebook today. Sign up for my certification, like verbs, call to action. All right, so are you speaking the right way to the right audience? You know how Oprah Winfrey says everybody's like on their phone while they're driving? Like Gary Vaynerchuk says 3 out of 5 people are on their phone while they're driving. That's crazy. That's so dangerous. But do you think billboards are working? Not so much. No one's looking at billboards. They're looking at the phone in the road, the phone in the road, the phone in the road. And like email. Like a couple of years ago, 89% of people open their email. Today, it's more like 10%. So like, I'm really bad at emailing my customers. I wish I was better. For like 2 years, I've been like, I gotta get my email life organized. Now, I'm like, oh, well, I'm not very good at email. I'm gonna get really good at Snapchat because that's where people are going. I mean, not to say you shouldn't be emailing your customers. I think we should be. I wish I was better at it. But are you speaking the right way to the right audience? Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so Gary V says, jab, 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 right hook. What that really means is give, 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 ask. Give, ask. Give. That's our template. So, I was like doing a little cursory inventory and assessment of my own social media and preparing for the team call tonight, just what I could remember the last couple of days worth of posts. And I've given, give. I've given humor. I've given a killer cycle song playlist, whole playlist on my newest, hottest ride, given it free, boom. Here it is. Here's a picture of it on Snapchat. You've got 24 hours. Better screenshot it. Recipes, entertainment. Embers and I did a funny video. My time. I've given my time for free because I'm engaging with people. I've done it live and I've done it after the fact. Motivation. I gave this great recommendation for a TV series, and I've had like 20 people message me like that about this TV series that I recommended on Netflix called Stranger Things. That's free. Those are giving people things. And guess what? Now I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask them to join our happy hour on Wednesday night. I've been giving. Quality, like value, add value. I don't post anything unless I'm like, what does this add some kind of value? Is this worth someone's soundbite? Because if it's not, they're not going to want to read my next one. And if it is, they're going to want to read my next one. How are we doing on time? I'm going to wrap up soon. So then I'm going to ask. So give, ask. Jab, right hook. And when we ask, this is what's new to me, you guys. What I want to become a better practitioner of, that I wasn't really doing. I want to ask really boldly and like unabashedly, like this is a business for me and this is a business opportunity. It's called a happy hour. You're going to learn about Team Beachbody coaching. Like Gary Vee's like, it is gross and people see right through it when you're like trying to really cloak what it is you're doing in clever verbiage. He's like, just say it. Like, if they're either interested or they're not, but be upfront about it. You're running a business. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting a sale and wanting to make money and believing in a product and knowing that that product can help someone or the opportunity. So just be upfront about it and ask. Like, don't be passive aggressive or cloak it or disguise it. I would say what he said, but there's kids listening, so I won't say what he said about it. But he's like, they think it's yucky. So when we ask, we just ask. Join my team. Join my next challenge group. It's going to be $140. Come to my business presentation, and then give value before and after. Okay. So don't soften the right hook. They just respect when we're clear and upfront. So timing matters. You know, there's certain times of day with the algorithms, with Facebook in general, but also you personally and the people in your demographic and in your world when they're on social media. Think about the news comes out early, lunch, after dinner. So timing matters. And just being original. So like, and if you guys did this, I'm not calling you out. I don't know if anyone did this. I don't know. I haven't looked. But like when I posted tonight in Team Play Hard, the new Autumn Country Heat, the $1,000 giveaway, that graphic, it's really pretty. Autumn looks great. Big, pretty Country Heat graphic. We don't want to like copy that graphic and share that on our timeline. I used to do that for the whole entire first year and a half I was a coach, is take Beachbody's beautiful, beautiful graphics and share them. But then it just kind of, it doesn't, we don't stand out. We're not set apart. And that's like, you might as well go buy from beachbody.com. In fact, somewhere on the graphic, it probably tells them to do just that. So if I had time, which I didn't, so I was preparing for this, I would maybe like Jen Elliott had some adorable pictures of herself in a cowgirl hat. Like I would maybe stage something or a picture of cowboy boots and then write about this $1,000 giveaway. So it's personal and authentic and it's you talking about the giveaway, not just sharing those graphics. Those graphics are great for in your challenge group or so timing matters, being really original. Of course, being drama free. I don't think our team struggles with that at all. Make sure your Facebook is public. If you don't want it to be public, maybe take the things off that you don't want the world to see, because one of the most important keys to success in network marketing is that we're adding to our network, and it's we have to be seen. And Facebook works totally differently when your page is public. Friends of friends can see it. Friends of friends of friends can see stuff. And it won't work well for you if you're private. So if I do understand some coaches want privacy, and there's ways to be private on Facebook. There's totally ways to do it. So if you need help with that, ask your upline or myself. So how do you know if you're doing it well? You know because people are engaging. I'm right now with my social media really for the first time. It's taken 4 years. I'm really having full-blown conversations under my posts, full-blown that last for days. And they leak out of there into my private messages. So I'll start a post, and then I'll start getting messages privately and on there for days about what's going on. And I'll go in there and ask questions of people, even if they're unrelated, like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you for a while. You know, where have you been? Like, even if it's unrelated to the post, I just am conversing underneath these posts. So you know that you're doing it well when there's engagement, not by likes. That's why my Facebook page sucks. There's nothing happening there. It's dead. But my Facebook personal page it has engagement. That's how you know. So if you don't have engagement, it doesn't necessarily mean you have a bad story or you're a bad storyteller. It might mean that, but it's not necessarily. It could just mean your timing's off, or you're not cropping things well, or you're one-dimensional. So another mistake I think that it's easy to fall into as coaches is just like, okay, I just need to post myself doing my workout every day. Like that's me. I'm one-dimensional. I mean, do that in your challenge groups, but as a person, it's far more attractive to be well-rounded and to storytell not just about your experience with health and fitness, but to storytell about all kinds of things going on in your life, all kinds of things. Otherwise, we're boring, and it's white noise. So, all right, lastly, do you have a story? And you'd think I would have started with that, but I'm going to finish with that. So kind of like a gut check time. Do you are vital behaviors be proof that the product works? Do you have a transformation story? And if you're brand new to coaching, you might not. It takes time. And so you're working on your story. That's perfect. That's perfect. But sometimes we can stagnate, like when we've been around for a while. So do you have a story, and do you have a recent story? Not just like, hey, 3 years ago, this program changed my life. But, the last time I checked, this fitness thing is like a freaking struggle all the time, right? Like it's not like we just arrive and like, voila, I'm a healthy person now. It's like a constant freaking battle for some of us more than others. It's really hard for me. It's really hard. It's hard. And so there should be ongoing chapters. And so maybe if you feel like you're not having engagement or your business is kind of at a lull, and I'm not hearing that from you guys, but I'm just saying this, like maybe you need a new chapter. Maybe you need to start a new program, start to finish, or maybe you need a new edition of your book altogether. Like people what's going to draw them to you and make you believable is that this works. It's working in your life. So, I mean, I just think that that's something we have to really constantly ask ourselves, and that we should be able to, as we've been doing this longer, storytell not just about our successes, but about our team. Like, even if they're not a coach you signed up, but they're not, like, I just shared Shannon Holding's story, because I don't see all you guys' stuff on my feed, because I try to stay off of my feed because I get stuck there. But like sometimes I go there and I'll catch something. And man, that story just like rocked me. And she's one of Kara's coaches, and I haven't had very many interactions with Shannon, but her story and her graphic and her picture, it was on point. And I messaged her and said, can I share it? And she said, absolutely. So I shared that story, and that's really attractive too, when it's not just always about us. So do you have a story? Do you need a new chapter? Are you staying current, with that and storytelling about the current struggles and successes? And are you sharing other people's, either on our team or in your downline? And so kind of to wrap, a couple things. I feel like good storytelling is the antidote for us. It's the remedy to what so many of us fear, which is coming across salesy and pushy. Tell good stories and be authentic. I was just trying to talk about the business to someone the other day. Embers was at my house, and I went out on the porch on the phone for an hour and a half. I was talking about the business opportunity to someone, and she was like, but I'm not into sales. Don't you guys hear that all the time? I was like, good, thank you, thank God, because neither are we. But what we do is we tell stories about our successes and struggles and what works for us. And so this is our antidote. This is the remedy to how we tend to worry about being perceived as pushy. It's just telling honest stories. So are you willing to do the work? And I wanted to just say that my social media really sucked when I became a coach. I just had a Facebook account. I didn't really know how to do it. In fact, when I would log in, sometimes I would log in as Jan and didn't even know it. I was thinking I was me and I was on his account. So it takes time, and I'm gonna share a very short, 2-minute video that I think will really motivate and inspire you. And then I want to open it up to any questions or comments that you have. So give me a second to do this to optimize my screen. And then it's called 1 is greater than 0. Okay, here we go.
Baffles me how many people think that they're bigger than they actually are. I hear people say well, how do I get in the New York Times or how do I get that meeting with that CEO? And oftentimes I just say 1 is better than 0. The steps it takes to actually get to the biggest places in the world. Before you get a meeting with, Zucks or Cuban or Barry Diller or whoever you're trying to have a meeting with in the business world, well, you've got to have a lot of little meetings to build up your cadence. People are always like, man, you've been on Conan and Ellen and the Today Show and CNN and Fox. How do I get that? And I'm like, well, I also did 1,000 interviews, it feels like, on videos that got 1 or 19 or 137 views.
My PR people and all my managers and handlers are really pissed at me because they're like, why are you spending 15 minutes doing these blogs that have 6 readers, every single day, and you're passing on the stuff that we're giving you to be on CNN or New York Times?
I still, even today, am as happy and sometimes even more excited to be on a podcast or a video blog that's only going to reach 100 people because I'm always about depth versus width.
Do you want to go wide or do you want to go deep? I want to go deeper with my community. I want to give back to people that were fans of me.
And so even today, where I have more leverage than I did 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 years ago to get bigger platforms, I still live under the motto of 1 is better than 0. To me, doing these interviews is a process of the work that so many people are impatient and not willing to do. Are you willing to take 10 minutes to get 195 views? I am. I don't know who you think you are. You've not gotten the exposure yet. When you have not made your name just yet. When you're still making the climb. When you're not paying attention because nobody else is, because 217 people are watching the video, I'm grinding when you're sleeping. I did those 87s and 59s and 137s and 813 views day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out, and continue to. You might make a video on somebody's video show that has 89 viewers, but one of those 89 viewers may be a producer at CNN or might be the CFO of a big company that you're trying to reach. And so undervaluing just that one view, it needs to be the right view, but it's one view, is a humongous mistake. It's about having the humility. It's about not saying no, even when you've made it. And the 1 is greater than 0 concept is something I'm proud that I continue to execute on.
So again, he doesn't work in the realm of Beachbody. He works in the world of, social media and business, small business. And so if you can just extrapolate some parallels into 1 is greater than 0 in terms of what we do, in terms of running those crappy challenge groups where only 3 people are in it, and you know, or those challenge groups that die, or those challenge groups that only, you know, one person seems like they're even posting in every 3rd day. It's like that kind of thing. And you post a video and hardly anyone looks at it, or you post and 2 people comment, and it's just, I loved that. I loved that little 3-minute video. It was really humbling for me, and really, I love thinking about just how it starts with just a few, just starts little, and doing it over and over and over, and because they're worth it. And I love that. So I guess let's open it up for questions or comments there. I love the interactivity of the team calls, but my challenge to all of us, myself included, is just to become better, more authentic storytellers across platforms, with the idea going deep before we go wide, but get on Snapchat. Okay. Anyone?
How do you build a following on Snapchat? Like, how are you growing your Snapchat?
Well, the first thing I did was I started following people that I was interested in their lives. So, like some coaches, and like even Gary Vaynerchuk and some people like that. You can start following whoever. And it gave me a sense of what that whole platform was like, because I had no idea how voyeuristic it was. It gave me a sense of like what you're supposed to, like, you just show kind of, you know, you driving to work, or you ordering a coffee, or it's weird. You'd think it seems kind of narcissistic, like who cares? Who cares about what fragments of my day? But the people that are interested in your life do. And so I guess the first thing I did was I started following people, and then I started playing with the filters, because you don't have to post them. So I started like playing with a filter, taking a picture, and then just not sharing it with anyone. Just like getting comfortable with like, okay, here's, oh, it looks like that. Oh, this one does this. Oh, this one does this. And they change all the time. And then, I mean, I'm still figuring it out. I'm not pretending to be some expert, but it is growing. And I just started looking for people, and then people usually follow you back. So you'll start with our team and start following like Adele and Holly, and you know, you start by following your friends on the team, and then they follow you back. And then some of them start sending you messages, and I'm like, wait, how do I respond? How do I reply? And then I start following and then I'm constantly calling to action across. I'm trying to cross-pollinate all the time. So I'll be like, check it out on Instagram. And today on Facebook, I was like, something funny happened on my Snapchat today. Except I don't say Snapchat, because if you say Snapchat, Facebook doesn't want to send people there, so I said Snap. But like on my Instagram, I'm trying to promote my Snapchat, and on Facebook, I'm trying to promote Snapchat, and on Snapchat, I'm trying to get people to follow me on Facebook. So I'm doing this whole like triangle. Some of you who've been doing it long, I don't know, Embers, Bobby, Adele, I feel like you're a Snapchatting queen. How do you get people to follow you?
I'm definitely not a queen of Snapchat. Holly is. I just started realizing what a story was about a month ago. So, but I have noticed that, you know, I posted a step-by-step on how to make these pancakes that I got a recipe for in one of our challenge groups, and then I had people messaging me all day, oh my gosh, these pancakes, how'd you do it? And then it leads to other dialogues. That sounds really healthy, or just all kinds of stuff that can rabbit trail. And so the more I use my story, which I resisted and pretended did not exist, the more dialogues happen. And then that can carry over to a message or a text or anything. So it is kind of interesting to see how that grows.
I really struggle with Snapchat. Just going to say that. Even though, and I will tell you, because I know Jen Embers has pointed this out before on other calls, this is what the young people are using, like the kids, like they are just, because I've had one for like 2 years already. It's just now becoming really popular and gaining traction. But I just never go throughout my day and think, hey, I'm going to Snapchat that. That never crosses my mind. And that's one of the struggles. You have to actively do it. I have the same problem with Instagram, and people do that with Instagram as well. That is the same struggle. And this is, it's not easy. It doesn't come naturally for any of these top coaches. They have to work at it, and then it'll come naturally. Ellen was there at one of her filmings for P90X, and she was showing the other coaches, the other master trainers, how to do it as well. They didn't know what the heck was going on. And that blew my mind, especially because Becca Jackson is a bit younger. So it's just, kind of surprising, but it's popular. And having worked at a university, the kids are on it all the time. All those people in their early 20s, they're on there just constantly. And half the time I just skip through their stuff. I'm just clicking. Whenever I look at the stories, I'm like clicking, I don't care. And then I'll stop, So it's just like, instead of being a scroll stopper, it's a tap stopper. You don't want to skip it, but you want to be able to have something that attracts them, and you don't just skip through. But yeah, I've checked Ellen's a couple of times because I want to see her kitten. So I know that's where I'll go sit, or I'll find some of it. So that's kind of my take on Snapchat, but it really is, it's very huge. And I know my boyfriend and his friends have been using it for years, and they would do crazy intricate drawings. And now with all the new filters and the face swap and everything, it's just, it's pervasive. It's very relevant.
Lindsay Christensen did a team call for us a few months ago that actually walks through how to set up an account. And if any of you guys want that, I could pull it from, I think it's in my YouTube channel. YouTube. I think it's in there. I could pull it and post it under the recording of tonight. If anyone wants the the ABCs of setting up an account. And now's the time to suck at it before the whole world gets on it. Because right now it is a lot of younger people. It isn't yet the phenomenon. It's a huge phenomenon, but not yet the phenomenon in business that it's projected to be. So now's the time. Who cares if you do it? And plus it disappears. So
real quick on Bobby's point about not thinking to stop and put something on your Snapchat, because that's something that I kept forgetting to do. I just forgot to snap, and days would go by and, this could have been a funny snap. It could have gone on my story. But the thing that I started doing to get in that habit better was taking my pictures on Snapchat, because then you can save them to your phone. So if I'm taking a picture of my meal for my challenge group, I take it in my Snapchat, I post it to my story, and then I save it and go post it in my challenge group. And that way I'm getting something out there that I wouldn't have, and there's more stuff going on, and it's at least a way to kind of use those as training wheels.
Totally.
To get yourself in there, to remember to use it. So
I love that. Plus it does another thing, what Adele is doing. It shows her challengers that she has a Snapchat account. So any challenger who's on Snapchat that sees her post with Snapchat little, whatever you call that little bar, I don't even know what it's called, but you can tell if something came from Snapchat. So if I was one of her challengers, I'd be like, oh, my coach is on Snapchat, I'm gonna follow her right now. Any questions about the happy hour or team cup?
For the happy hour, how do you guys structure that? Because I haven't been in one.
Okay, so everyone gives a 1-minute introduction, and then, did Embers go? Is she gone? I think we lost her. And then Jake talks about the vital behavior, what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nick talks about our training and support and how you're not alone. You don't have to know, we teach you once, we hold your hand. Mm-hmm. And then I talk about the benefits of being a coach. And then Embers is dude, she freaking nailed the ending of that. Remember last week, Jake? Last month? I was like, oh my gosh. Ember's like then closes with like a pretty strong call to action, like this is how this is your next step. You either A, B, or C, and do it now. I don't know how she does it, but it comes out like perfect. I don't know. Jake, you speak to it and the evolution of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the same. We follow that same format every single time. There's always a little bit of a different flair to it. And it gets better every single time. But yeah, I mean, if you want to check one out before you bring potential clients to it, then, I'm sure Ellen can find it for you somewhere, or I know Jen Embers has them somewhere.
Yeah.
Take a look and make sure you like it first. But I think if you were to bring someone, you would not be disappointed. They'd be well attended to.
We're also like, Nick's in Kansas, Jen and I are in Oregon, Jake's in California. Jen likes her job and wants to keep it. We just are all in different places. It's pretty good. It's good. And then there's the coffee talk. I like the happy hour a little bit better as far as chemistry. I like the happy hour better, but it's a different energy. And the coffee talk we do is kind of more of a stay-home mom, but it's all women, and that lead it, and so and it's in the morning, so it tends to be more of like a mom crowd, I feel. So, and it's a Zoom just like this. All right, guys, we're losing people. People are like dropping. So let's close.